At society, Phyllis runs into Nick. They complain about Summer still being in Milan. She has to finalize the deals for the new hires. Phyllis thinks it's more about her new guy. Nick wonders if he should go over and play the dad card. Phyllis learns he's going to Europe again and asks why. Nick tells Phyllis about the mysterious invitation from Aristotle Dumas to his private summer home in France. Phyllis rants that she's been doing everything to see him and Nick did nothing. Nick tells her he's not the only one who got an invitation. Phyllis learns his parents and Michael got one too. Nick asks what happened in DC. Phyllis says nothing. Dumas wasn't there. He'd probably already gone to France. She should be on that guest list. Phyllis wonders why he's coming out of the shadows. Nick warns she doesn't have a shot at getting him to fund her company. Phyllis says she has a new plan of attack. Nick gets nervous when Phyllis uses the words plan and attack in the same situation. Phyllis reassures him. He and Amanda made her realize that he was unlikely to fund her company. That plan was too ambitious and too risky. She has a smaller plan where she sells him her expertise and business savvy. Nick chuckles. To do what exactly? Phyllis hopes he'll find a place for her in his organization. Nick asks what place she has in mind. Phyllis isn't ready to reveal the details yet. Nick reminds her he's her pal and sounding board. Phyllis doesn't want to jinx it. They banter, and Phyllis admits she has one of his companies in mind. He asks which one, but she won't say. Nick questions if it's a good idea to get into business with someone like Dumas. Phyllis calls him a hypocrite. He's going to his party. Nick argues they're defending themselves against a potential attack. It's offensive defense, so they're prepared when he comes after Chancellor. Phyllis asks if he's making moves. Nick admits they're on guard. He shrugs that he may not even go. Phyllis says he'll have to go if his dad wants him there. Nick says she's probably right. Phyllis asks what's the problem. Chancellor is privately owned. It's not like Dumas can take it away. Nick says that wouldn't happen. The fear is the damage he could cause trying. There's no way he's a Boy Scout. Phyllis shakes her head. Amanda wouldn't work for anyone shady. Nick tells Phyllis he's looking out for her. She says it's nice to know he cares. Nick's glad she's in a better place and advises her to stay away from Dumas completely. At the Abbott manse, Jack and Diane can't wait for their honeymoon. Jack is so ready he wants to leave right away. They go over their itinerary, which will include Paris. Diane reminds him they can't leave just yet. Jack thinks they deserve a break after all they've been through. Jack asks for one little change to the itinerary. What if they ditch Greece and just focus on France? She realizes he wants to take Dumas up on his invitation. Jack thinks Diane is just as intrigued about Dumas as he is. They're all intrigued by the mystery. Diane shrugs. There's only one way to find out. They'll accept the invitation. Jack thinks the Friday the 13th date could be ominous. He shares that Billy got an invite too. Diane finds it all suspicious. She then tells Jack she already altered their itinerary. She knew once the invitation arrived, there would be no changing his mind. Jack kisses her and wants to take her. At the athletic club, Claire tells Kyle she shared a pull-out sofa with her mom in Cole's suite. Kyle thinks she must be exhausted. Claire says her dad woke up feeling worse again this morning. She's really worried about how weak he is. It scares me. They go over Cole being too stubborn to seek medical advice. She's worried he'll let this get worse before he realizes he can't fight it alone. Kyle tells Claire her dad could be recovering as they speak. She needs to go home and rest so she doesn't get sick herself. Claire has to go into the office. Kyle teases that she's as stubborn as her dad. He tries to kiss her, but she stops him in case she picked up her dad's bug. They go over the successful party. Kyle hopes her grandfather comes around. Jack and Diane appear and ask after Cole. Claire thanks them for asking, but she has to go. Kyle can fill them in. The Abbotts fear Kyle will get sick. Kyle assures them he's fine, though he couldn't sleep last night, wondering if he put a dent in Victor's armor. Jack doesn't think the speech would do it. Kyle reveals he also made him an offer. Jack squints. What kind of offer? Diane hopes it didn't compromise his integrity. Kyle wouldn't make that mistake again. Jack hopes he hasn't made another bargain with the devil. Kyle assures his parents he knows what he's getting himself into. He's eyes wide open with Victor. Diane warns he has a way of turning things around on you. Kyle asks them to trust him on this. If Victor accepts his offer, he'll be 100% in control. Billy walks into Crimson Lights and spots Adam and Chelsea. He greets his ex-girlfriend and needles Adam about not launching a smear campaign yet. Adam taunts that he's been checking him out to learn how to run a media company. Adam advises him to brace himself. Timing is everything. When would be the right time to do the most damage? Billy's sure Adam has nothing, or he would have launched it by now. If he puts something out now, it will only make him look petty and vindictive. Billy warns he'll file a slander lawsuit this time. He understands Adam is in a tough spot having to please his daddy. Adam warns him not to get out over his skis. Billy would rather that than walk a day in his shoes. Sally appears and Billy takes her to the patio. Chelsea asks Adam to please tell her that he didn't mean what he said about waiting for the perfect time to go after Billy. On the patio, Billy doesn't want to talk about Adam. He wants to talk about France. He tells Sally Dumas invited him to his summer home in France. He's invited the Winters, Newmans, and Abbotts as well. Inside, Chelsea wants Adam to promise he'll keep his promise to not go after Billy. Adam points out he came for him. He won't let him spout off like that. Chelsea just wants him to keep his promise. Adam's still planning to start a scandal to distract his dad. Hatchet jobs on Billy will be the last thing on his mind. Chelsea hopes it works. Adam says it already is. The perfect distraction may have just fallen into their laps. Chelsea wants to know what it is. Adam says his family is anticipating an attack from Dumas, who just sent out invitations to his chateau in France. Chelsea asks, "What do I pack?" Adam explains that they didn't make the guest list. He feels it's a slap in the face. It was a snub. Chelsea thinks of it as a compliment. Dumas obviously sees him as a threat. Adam smiles at her support. He thinks she's right, that they're better off on this side of the ocean. He has the something doesn't feel right. Dumas is probably trying to trip up Victor, as if that's even possible. In the meantime, they can use this distraction. He'll find a way to fan the flames, so that Billy and the Abbotts are an afterthought. On the patio, Sally thinks Dumas may just want to show off. Billy argues that's not his character. He's been invisible since he came on the scene. He wants to know who and what he's going after. Sally hopes he's not planning to attend the party to find out. Why do you still care so much? Billy wants to get Victor off his pedestal. Stunned, Sally reminds him they're days away from their launch. She needs him to focus on Abbott communications. Billy says he won't leave until after the launch. Sally's still concerned. The new company can't run itself. Billy says he'll be gone for a few days max. Sally reminds him she walked away from Marchetti because she believed in him. She refuses to let him get sidetracked by his obsessive desire to get back at Victor Newman. Billy has to find out what Dumas wants with his family. Sally argues that Jack and Diane can find out. Billy thinks they can do right by Abbott Communications and find out what Dumas is up to. He suggests they put off the launch of their company for a month. Sally thinks this is crazy. Billy thinks they need to understand the competition. Sally argues it makes them look weak and unprofessional. Billy declares that this is win-win for them. They need to know what he's up to. They need to know the players and potential enemies and allies. The bonus is that he gets to take her to France. They kiss. At Society, Phyllis suggests to Nick that she hitches a ride on the jet to Paris, and then they can hop over to Italy to visit Summer. They can check out their daughter's new man. She demonstrates her French, much to Nick's amusement. She laughs, "It will be fun. What do you say?" Nick gets a call and has to take it. Phyllis texts Amanda, "Just heard about the nice party. Get me on the guest list." Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The name Aristotle Dumas is on the tip of every tongue among Genoa City's upper crust these days, and we mean everyone. Not only has he been the talk of the town for months, but speculation about his private party in Nice, France has the alias now being uttered every 5 seconds or so. While some folks are full of anticipation, others are guarded, and they're wise to be wary. Genoa City's elite have seen some things in their soap lifetimes, so Dumas invitations have definitely raised the hairs on the back of a few necks. Black and gold embossed envelopes arriving mysteriously amid speculation that Aristotle is coming after various family companies definitely contributed to the growing sense of unease. But the offer of an all-expenses-paid trip to his private estate on the French Riviera for a select few was truly an eyebrow-raiser. Dumas emerged on the business scene a handful of years back and has never shown his face, even on the internet. Presumably, only those who work closely with him have seen him. He wouldn't even meet with Billy after reaching out to him regarding Chancellor. Now, he suddenly seems set to reveal himself to an entire group. It leaves one with more questions than answers. The entire scenario is kinda spooky, but the one thing you can count on in a soap opera is that there will be clues in the dialogue as to what's going on. There's a reason that this party is being held on the cryptic date of Friday the 13th, and that invitees are calling the whole thing creepy and feeling a sense of foreboding, and the reason isn't good. Case in point was the recent dialogue between Chelsea and Adam, who felt snubbed after not receiving an invitation. Now, there are many reasons that might have happened. Perhaps Newman Media isn't on Dumas' radar, or maybe Dumas knows someone needs to stay back and hold down the fort, which would suggest he has an intimate knowledge of Newman Enterprises. Finally, it wouldn't be at all surprising if Adam and Dumas have a prickly past as well. After all, we all believe the mystery mogul will be exposed as someone we already know. Find out who here. Strikingly, however, Adam told Chelsea that he feels she's right and they're better off on this side of the ocean. He had the feeling Dumas is setting a trap. Adam even went so far as to say, "Something doesn't feel right. We can only speak for ourselves, but we trust Adam's gut, and we believe this was the writers letting us know that the creepy invitations from a recluse for an isolated private party on Friday the 13th are indeed something to worry about. At worst, we could be looking at something out of a horror story. Someone goes missing or gets killed at the remote estate. The kickoff for a murder mystery maybe. At best, the murder mystery would be of the fake party variety, and no one would actually be harmed. Somewhere in the middle is the possibility that Dumas will reveal himself at the bash and will prove to be someone all those in attendance know, fear, or with any way you slice it, the party qualifies as an ambush, as the party guests are sure to be taken off guard no matter what happens. Let's hope everyone comes out unscathed and makes it home to Genoa City. And let's hope we can finally stop hearing the name Aristotle Dumas. The young and the restless spoilers suggest there's a buzz that Aristotle Dumas is actually Kane Ashby, and actor Billy Flynn has been recast in the role. As Lily Winters is preoccupied with Damian Kane currently, and likely doesn't want to have anything to do with her ex at this point, could Kane's new love interest be an old flame? Fans may recall that when Lily was sent to prison for her role in Hilary Curtis's passing in 2018, Kane's eyes wandered to Victoria Newman. The two didn't cross a line in the bedroom, but they did engage in an emotional affair and kissed. When Lily found out about this, while still behind bars and from Billy Abbott, considering all the lies Kane told in the past, this was a deal-breaker, and the two ended up officially separating. With that said, nothing more happened between Kane and Victoria, but could there still be a spark there? Victoria is currently with another former flame and the father of Claire Newman, Cole Howard. Unfortunately, Cole doesn't seem to be doing well, and fans can't help but think that this could be the end of the road for him in Genoa City. He and Vicky have enjoyed a nice romantic reunion, but the two don't quite have the same sparks as they used to. In fact, while Cole is probably the healthiest relationship Vicky has enjoyed in years, the on-screen part of it all has fizzled. With Cole potentially exiting the canvas and Kane re-emerging on the scene, could he reconnect with Victoria? Kane was never perfect, but he was a nice guy. Plus, having billions, his work in the corporate world, and being her dad's Victor Newman rival would certainly stir up the drama. Could Victoria become Kane's love interest, considering their past? Share your thoughts. Tune into the CBS soap daily so you don't miss a moment of the drama. And visit the site often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, updates, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday 4 indicate some interesting moments in GC on Hump Day. A couple entertains a thought, while an ex-wife has an intriguing proposition for her ex-husband, and someone gives their partner an ultimatum. What's set to unravel during Wednesday's show? Time to find out. Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, April 4 imply that it sounds like this has to do with Aristotle Dumas' party in France on Friday, June 13, as the couple received an invitation. Will the Abbotts attend or decline to go to the shindig? They'll likely go, and why not? Half the town has been invited at this point. Across town, Phyllis Summers will present an intriguing offer to Nick Newman. He's already invited Sharon Newman as his +1 to Dumas' party, so is Phyllis too late in asking Nick to bring her along? Will Phyllis also get an invitation, or was her trip to DC with Amanda Sinclair to ambush Dumas a dud? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Lastly, the Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday hint that Chelsea Lawson will give Adam Newman an ultimatum. During the Tuesday, June 2 show, could this threat from Chelsea be about their work at Newman Media? Victor Newman seems focused on throwing Billy Abbott under the bus, while fans know that Chelsea is adamantly against this. Will Chelsea walk if Victor gets his way? How will Adam navigate this all? Fans will have to tune in to find out. What storyline are you most interested in seeing unfold during Wednesday's show? Share your thoughts. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily so you don't miss a moment of the drama, and visit SOS often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, updates, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, June 4, indicate Phyllis Summers is set to propose something to Nick Newman. As the two are likely both invited to the Aristotle Dumas shindig in France, could they decide to go together? Sounds like a fun night for the two exes. However, what if they get caught up in the scenery of the region and share a steamy night together? The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that Phyllis hasn't been doing too well since being kidnapped by Martin Laurent. In fact, her co-kidnappee, Sharon Newman, suggested that Phyllis go on a European vacation like she did. Sharon, along with Nick, Faith Newman, and Christian Newman, went on a family vacation to Europe to visit Noah Newman, and it changed Sharon's perspective. Sharon encouraged Phyllis to do the same, and while she wouldn't want Nick to tag along, if the two are going to this Dumas party, why not go to France first, and then visit Summer Newman in Italy next? If Phyllis and Nick were doing all this traveling together, could they get caught up in emotion? They may also feel nostalgic or plus, unlike Sharon and Nick, who had Faith and Christian in tow, Phyllis and Nick will be traveling primarily alone, which means more opportunity for awkward moments of sexual tension leading up to their one-night stand. With that said, if they cross a line, could this also equal a romantic reunion? In recent episodes of the daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless, everyone in Genoa City seems to be talking about a mysterious billionaire, Aristotle Dumas, whose identity remains unknown. However, recently, some of the residents have received an invitation to a private island to meet Dumas and attend an event. The invitations were sent to Victor Newman, Jack Abbott, Michael Baldwin, and a few other elites of the city. Many fans of The Young and the Restless have raised eyebrows about this invitation to the private island. Viewers seem to have mixed reactions towards the situation. A fan by the name of Ivy Green commented on a discussion post started by another fan of the soap on Facebook, writing, Ivy Green commented on a discussion post started by a user named Evelyn Rutledge on a Facebook fan page. On June 3, 2025, Emily wrote, in the post, Emily expressed her suspicion about why the unknown Aristotle Dumas is calling everyone to a private island. She suspects that the people of Genoa might not be able to escape the island, leaving endless possibilities of what could happen next. Many fans of the daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless shared their opinions on the same. While some viewers believe this could be the end of the long-running soap, others think this will be another long storyline. Aristotle Dumas is a fictional character on the CBS networks The Young and the Restless. The character came into conversations as a billionaire who is helping Billy gain power as Chancellor. Dumas is also helping Damien Kane. However, when Lily Winters confronted the latter to set a meeting with the billionaire, Damien got defensive and asked for the agenda for the same. Furthermore, Amanda Sinclair also returned to Genoa City as the lawyer/representative of the unknown entity. Meanwhile, in a conversation between Phyllis and Sally, they discuss the mysterious billionaire who has been helping Billy, and Phyllis shared her concerns about the person possibly being dangerous. However, she remarked that such people can easily get off track, so she asked Sally to bring Billy back on track and not get involved with the shady Aristotle Dumas. Fans of The Young and the Restless speculate that Dumas might be someone from the past. There were some speculations that Aristotle Dumas might actually be Drusilla Winters, who was presumed dead, but her body was never found. Other fans of the soap opera suspect that it might be Kane Ashby with a new face, or even Tucker McCall. Kyle will never see it coming. Kyle thought he'd finally figured out a way to checkmate Victor on The Young and the Restless. He offered to sign a contract that would see him paying the Newmans $5 million if he ends up breaking Claire's heart. But after the June 4 episode, we're wondering if Kyle is the one being played, and he'll never see it coming. Yesterday, we speculated that Victor doesn't need another $5 million, so Kyle is out of luck there. You know what Victor would love to have, though? Kyle's shares in Abbotts. And Kyle is such an arrogant, spoiled brat that we can absolutely see him going ahead and signing a document that will give those to him if Kyle hurts Claire in any way. After all, Kyle has a very high opinion of himself. How could he possibly make any woman unhappy? Lola? Summer? Those breakups were their fault, not his. Kyle is blameless. Kyle is dumb. Audra is smart. She'll get the job done sooner rather than later, and Victor will go running to Claire with the evidence. Kyle will be screwed, in more ways than once, and he'll be forced to keep his part of the bargain and hand over those Abbotts shares to Victor. But here's where the really huge twist comes into play. Claire was in on it all along. We never thought it made any sense for her to be so obsessed with what her grandpa Victor thought about her love, because this wasn't gaslighting. This was a plan. Claire loves her newfound grandpa. She wants to be just like him. She wants to be his heir. She wants to prove she's better than Victoria, Nick, Adam and Abby. And what better way to do that than to help Grandpa get one over on Kyle and the dreaded Abbotts? Yup, Claire was in on it all along. It was her idea. Who's the best Newman now? Melissa Ordway always makes time for love. The young and the restless star shared her marriage secrets. Melissa Ordway prioritizes date night with her husband, Justin Gaston, even if it's just 60 minutes. The spouses enjoy what little time they get to themselves when they're available and kid-free. Are you too busy to have alone time with your spouse? Ordway shared this dating hack on her Instagram account. She shared a clip of her date night with her hubby. She admitted they became two ships. Gaston flew back to Los Angeles from New York, but only for a short time. He had a quick turnaround flight, which they took advantage of. She was able to see him 2 hours, so they made the most of it. The two met up for a quick dinner date. Then, she panned the camera over to her husband, who departed his flight. When he's flying into LA from NI and you're heading back to Nashville, and you meet at a random restaurant outside Lax for a quick dinner date. We may have only had an hour, but I'll take it, Justin Gaston love you, Ordway wrote in the post. She added the song Love on the Weekend by John Mayer. In this case, the two are sharing their love on the go. My and our fans took to the comments section to react to Ordway's video. Most showed their support for the soap couple by adding red heart emojis. One fan wrote, "Oh, that was the sweetest thing. I love you guys." Meanwhile, other fans miss seeing Ordway regularly on Y and R. Aw. I hope you're back on screen soon. In the meantime, enjoy your time with your goals. Another fan commented, referring to Ordway's and Gaston's daughters. Another fan applauded their love story, writing, "Good for you both for making the most of the time you have together. That's love." What are your thoughts on Ordway's dating hack? Do you make what little time you have with your spouse when you're both busy and working? Let us know in the comments section. Victoria and Lily have decisions to make. The young and the restless spoilers for Thursday, June 5 demonstrate that Victor has to be very, very bored these days. Victor got Nikki completely blinded as to how he's got Michael questioning all of his life choices. And he's got Billy and Phyllis convinced they can outsmart him, so he lives rent-free in their heads. Which means Victor has nothing to do but to obsess over who his newfound granddaughter, Claire, is dating. It's Kyle. Claire is dating Kyle, and it's upsetting Victor to the point where he's decided to give Audra her own company if she'll break the lovebirds up. Sure, whatever Victor is paying Audra is probably a rounding error to him. But still, Kyle is literally nothing to Victor. He's no threat. It's like an elephant going after a baby chick. Sure, he can squash him easily, but why bother? It's not sportsmanlike. Cole was sick. Then he got better. Now he's sick again. Claire is upset. Victoria is upset. Victor is upset that Cole might get in. Have Cole and Victoria found their way back to each other and to their long-lost daughter, just in time to be separated for good. Victor will get to say "I told you so" yet again, so you know, a happy ending all around. Devin, Lily, and Nate are still determined to outsmart Dumas, even though their plan to install Damien and Holden as double agents tanked spectacularly. It was a day filled with schemes and big moves on My and R. On The Young and the Restless for Wednesday, June 4, Genoa City's movers and shakers plot their next steps around Dumas' mysterious event in France. Phyllis schemes to insert herself into the action. Billy wrestles with priorities, Kyle worries about both Victor and Claire, and Adam deals with feeling excluded. At Society, Phyllis ran into Nick and wasted no time catching up on news about Summer. They discussed Summer's secret boyfriend in Milan before the conversation turned to Nick's invitation to the Dumas event. She just tried to meet the elusive mogul in DC, only to find he had already vanished. Nick cautioned her against pursuing Dumas, especially with so little known about him. But Phyllis had a new plan: sell her expertise and convince Dumas to create a role for her. However, she wouldn't reveal the specifics, not wanting to jinx it. Though Nick urged her to stay away, Phyllis clearly had other intentions. As soon as he looked away, she secretly texted Amanda, asking to get on the guest list. Meanwhile, at the GCAC, Claire opened up to Kyle about how scared she was for her father. Cole still refused to seek medical help, and she feared it would get worse before it got better. Kyle urged her to rest, but Claire insisted she needed to handle things at the office. They skipped a kiss to avoid spreading germs. Jack and Diane arrived as Claire rushed off. They inquired about Cole's condition and Kyle's own health precautions. Kyle confessed he was more anxious about Victor's reaction to his speech and the offer he made. Kyle revealed he had offered Victor a contract promising to leave Claire and pay damages if he ever hurt her. Diane was aghast, fearing Kyle had once again compromised his values, while Jack worried he'd made a deal with the devil. Billy ran into Adam and Chelsea at Crimson Lights. The tension was thick as the two men traded barbs. Billy accused Adam of plotting a smear campaign. Adam didn't deny it, claiming he was simply preparing a scandal to keep Victor distracted. Chelsea reminded Adam of his promise not to target Billy, but Adam remained cagey about his plan. That plan got a jolt when Chelsea urged him to let it go and focus on family. Though he agreed they were probably better off skipping the party, he believed Dumas was setting a trap, and that fanning the flames would buy them time to keep Billy in check. On the Crimson Lights patio, Billy told Sally about his own invitation to the Dumas gathering. He viewed it as a golden opportunity to uncover what Dumas really wanted and maybe even unseat Victor. Sally was alarmed. With their company's launch just days away, she didn't want him distracted. Billy floated the idea of postponing the launch by a month, which she called crazy after their massive investment. Sally reminded him that she had sacrificed everything to go into business with him,